Welcome to episode 5 of Myths, Legends, and Folklore. Today we cover the Mongolian Deathworm, a creature said to reside in the western and southern Gobi Desert. Please leave a like, subscribe, and tell a friend. If you want to support the channel, shop at shop.spreadshirt.com/Insomniac City. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Insomniac City. All those links will be below as well. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy. See you guys at the end of the episode. The Mongolian Deathworm's native name, Olgoi korkoi, which means intestine worm, due to its red, blood-like color and size, which is the size of an intestine. It has been described by many to be from 2 to 7 feet long, have the ability to spit out a corrosive yellow saliva, and generates blasts of electricity. However, this latter power is thought of as being folkloric by the nomads of the Gobi. Described as traveling underground, creating waves of sand on the surface, which allow it to be detected. The Mongolians say it can kill at distance, either by spraying a venom at its prey or by means of electrical discharge. They say that the worm lives underground, hibernating most of the year except for June and July, when it becomes active. It is also reported that it often comes to the surface when it rains and the ground is wet. They also believe that touching any part of the worm will cause almost instant death and tremendous pain. It has been told that the worm frequently preyed on camels and laid eggs in its intestines, and eventually acquired the trait of its red-like skin. Its venom supposedly corrodes metal. Legend says that as the creature begins to attack, it raises half of its body out of the sand and starts to inflate until it explodes, releasing the lethal poison all over the unfortunate victim. The poison is so venomous that the prey dies instantly. Livestock and humans are supposed to be its main prey. The creature first came to Western attention as a result of Roy Chapman Andrews' 1926 book, On the Trail of Ancient Man. The American paleontologist was not convinced by the tales of the monster he had heard at a gathering of Mongolian officials. He said, "None of those present ever had seen the creature, but they all firmly believed in it, in its existence, and described it minutely." Because Mongolia had been under Soviet control until 1990, very little is known about the deathworm in the West. In recent years, though, investigators have been able to look for evidence of the creature's existence. Ivan Mackerel, one of the leading Loch Ness Monster detectives, studied the region and interviewed many Mongolian people about the worm. Due to the sheer volume of sightings and strange deaths, he came to the conclusion that the deathworm was more than just a legend. Nobody is entirely sure what the worm actually is. Experts are certain it's not a real worm because the Gobi Desert is too hot. Some have suggested it might be a skink, but they have little legs and scaly skin, whereas witness accounts specify the worm is limbless and smooth-bodied. The most probable explanation is that the deathworm is a new species of Amphizibaena, or worm lizard, a group of burrowing reptiles. Although the native Mongolian people are convinced of the deathworm's nature, it will take more years of research to satisfy the rest of the world's scientific community. In 2005, an expedition from the Center for Fortean Zoology crossed 1,000 miles of the Gobi on the track for the deathworm. They concluded it was probably a large unknown type of worm lizard, and that the powers attributed to it were apocryphal. So now it's time for an encounter story with the deathworm. This one's pretty short. I am a female middle-aged villager in Mongolia. And this story is one about my only encounter with the infamous cryptid, the Mongolian Deathworm. I was inside my home, relaxing after a long day of laborious work, when some of my fellow villagers came and told me there was something I had to see, that there was a deathworm outside. I went out, and there it was, in the back of a crowd of grazing goats. Its appearance was similar to the common giant earthworm, but not quite that. Stretching at about 3 to 4 feet long, and had a reddish-brown color to it. The head and tail also looked nearly identical. My fellow villagers profusely told me not to get any closer, for fear of what the creature can do, and of course I obliged. I was glued to the spot in terror, until it disappeared back in the ground. That night, my family and I packed our belongings, and the next day, we moved away. Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to episode 5 of Myths, Legends, and Folklore. I hope you enjoyed that episode. I know it was kind of short compared to the other ones, but there is very, very little information on this Mongolian Deathworm. You can find a lot about the same stuff, like you can find the same facts everywhere, but encounter stories, very hard to find. And any more information than what you find on Wiki or like National Geographic or anything like that, it's almost impossible. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed what I could bring you about this cryptid. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and tell a friend, and click the links to shop down below and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. I love all of you. You guys are the greatest. You have a good day. Enjoy yourself. Thank you for watching. Don't be afraid. It's just the dark.